Well, if you live in Ontario, you know that there is one file the provincial government has messed up more than any other. That is the energy file, and they're about to mess it up even more. Ontario has signed on to long-term contracts for green energy that pay well above market rates. We are producing more power than we use because the price has driven out many manufacturers. We have surplus capacity. We give it away. And now we're going to be building even more? Yes, that's right. Tom Adams is an independent analyst and commentator on issues related to energy, to power, and the environmental issues of the day. He joins me now from Toronto. Tom, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, what is the Wynne government thinking? We're adding 900 megawatts of power to Ontario's power grid. At a time when we're constantly, and almost all of it green power, giant windmills. And this comes at a time when we're in the middle of building more windmills that have already been approved, that we still have the surplus. So what are they thinking?
Well, I mean, yesterday there was a wind energy conference hosted by the Canadian Wind Energy Association. One of the speakers, Bob Chiarelli, the energy minister, he's also from Ottawa, shows up, and he's got great news for these guys. He's announces that there's just another whole whack of contracts that are going out. I'm sure they were elated, but the consequences for ratepayers, this is really drastic stuff. The announcements yesterday correspond to annual costs out again every year for the next 20 years of in the order of $250 million bucks. Mm-hmm. We're in a situation right now where electricity consumption has been falling since 2005. As rates go ever higher, demand is just chasing down, down, down. So,
well, I mean, we've all been told to use the curly Q light bulbs that I hate. We've all been told to run our dishwashers and our washing machines at night. And people are doing these conservation measures in response to the bills going up, but then the bills go up even more because they need the money.
The way the power system works, they've got this concept, they call it revenue requirement. It's the total amount of money that has to come in each year in order to feed all these contracts to the utilities, to the power generators, the wires companies, all this kind of stuff. So this year it's 21 billion, next year 22, year after that 23. Meanwhile, consumption keeps going down. And so, the announcements yesterday just add fuel to the fire. They keep driving up this revenue requirement while we've got the falling demand.
So we're adding more wind power. I was speaking to you on the radio the other day about the fact that there are communities in eastern Ontario, just outside Ottawa, in Nation Township, North Stormont Township. They've said, residents have voted, town councils have voted, we don't want these windmills, and the province is putting them in. Down in southwestern Ontario, outside of London, Dutton, and areas like that, they voted 84%, we don't want them. The provincial government's forcing them in. These are the wind farm projects that are in the middle of being built. They've been approved, they're going to be built. That's not included in this announcement, correct?
No, those
so we're going to have even more capacity.
Oh yeah, sure.
So, but I mean, we're currently giving away, as earlier today, I checked the Independent Electricity System Operators website. The price for power, not what you and I pay because we always pay a lot, but the price for power was 0 cents a kilowatt hour because we have too much. Why build more?
Yeah, don't worry. The conservation programs will fix it all. The beneficiaries of all of this madness here, the madness of adding more capacity at a time where you're already got surplus, the madness of paying customers to not use power at a time we're paying generators to not generate power. One of the real big beneficiaries for that are the utilities in Michigan and New York that are picking up all of our surplus power. Most of it flows to Michigan and New York. It's a bonanza for those utilities. They're buying it. Sometimes, as our Auditor General has pointed out, they're actually paid to take our power.
I think they were earlier today. I believe before 5 a.m., the windmills were going like crazy. We were exporting power to them at a negative rate. That means we pay them, correct?
Well, the government has recently changed the rules. They were so embarrassed about this business of having to pay U.S. utilities to take our power. They changed the rules so that the price for export purposes never goes below zero. So this solved their kind of PR problem. But actually, just the way the power system works. It turns out that in the situations where electricity is in such excess supply that it's really a disposal problem, it's cheaper to pay them to take the power than it is to pay the generators in Ontario to not generate the power. So this recently implemented ban on negative prices for U.S. exports is actually yet another factor that's actually driving up costs for us here as consumers here in Ontario.
The more I try and understand the power system in Ontario, Tom, the less I understand the power system in Ontario. It's as if it was designed by insane bureaucrats.
At one time, there was a design for Ontario's power system, but what's happened is the system has become an amalgam of Band-Aids on Band-Aids. So when there was a problem with this or problem with that, you're always kind of slapping on ad hoc solutions. And so now we've got this mad, crazy collection of internally contradictory rules, and it's become a system that many of the people that work inside of it will, often be experts in one little piece of it, but the big picture thing is very hard to keep track of.
Let me ask you, is the push for more wind power being driven by the need, from my understanding, the system operator says, we're good for a decade, we don't need any more capacity. Is the push for more wind power specifically being driven by political factors, by ideology, or maybe by large donations to the Liberal Party, as we've heard about these great fundraisers that Bob Chiarelli goes to, the energy minister, with people that he is in the middle of regulating? What's driving it?
Well, it's not. Wind power is popular in some circles, but it's hard to see a political attractiveness to the whole wind program. We've had enough of it. People have seen it enough that it's extremely unpopular in places where it's actually installed. People have to live near these things. Almost all are very strongly opposed. So I don't really see a political advantage. And of course, there's no power system justification that we don't need it for electricity supply. So that is not an explanation that holds any water. The only, there are some people that benefit from this, but they're all the contractors, the people that pour the concrete, the people that, are investors behind these contracts. There's a very small group, but they are vocal and it's a focused interest. That seems to me the only explanation for a continuation of what, by any other standard of measure, is just pure madness.
Well, it is madness, but then again, Bob Chiarelli's in charge. Tom, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I'm any clearer on things, but there you have it. Tom Adams, independent energy analyst. If you think that this is madness, then go to our petition page, FireBob.ca. This man has to go. I'm not sure it'll fix the system, but it'll make me feel better if Bob is gone. FireBob.ca.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.